Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Corner Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Redefining Law in the Age of AI, Web3, a conversation with Anuradha Chowdhary. In today's world, technology evolves faster than laws that govern it. From AI ethics to Web3 regulations, from crypto disputes, we need legal pioneers who can bridge innovation with governance. Our guest speaker today, Anuradha Chowdhary, founder of ZeroTo3 Collective, is one such trailblazer. With deep expertise in disruptive technologies, AI, crypto, gaming, privacy, Anuradha is shaping frameworks for industries where law has barely caught up. In this episode, we dive into her journey, her insights, and the personal side of a lawyer who's making the future legally sound. So, welcome, Anuradha, to today's coffee conversation.
Hi, Amir. Thanks so much for having me.
So, let me explain you. There are three rounds: professional, personal, and a rapid fire round where you're in the
Oh,
hot
yeah.
seat. And here's your gift, Legal AI 101, authored by me, which will be sent to you. But you have to be first witty, fun, and quick.
Okay.
So
So I have to
let's,
win the rapid fire in order to get the book, or do I get it anyway?
you have to win it.
Let's try.
Yeah. So let's begin. Friends, I'm Lion Abir Mirani, host at Coffee Corner, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books.
Oh, okay.
From my first question, Anuradha, from media to founding 023 Collective, what was a turning point that pushed you into disruptive tech law, and how has the journey been? And one more, what is the story behind naming of your initiative, 023 Collective?
Okay. So actually, I didn't start my journey as a lawyer. I started as a filmmaker. I am a trained filmmaker. I hold a degree in film and television. This was many years ago, after which I decided to pursue a degree in law as well, out of plain curiosity and nothing else. I started working as a lawyer and ended up doing a lot of work for the entertainment industry and for the tech industry while I was practicing. Um, and I think somewhere in about 2020, during lockdown, during COVID, at the law firm that I was at, we started getting more and more tech clients, specifically those from the crypto and blockchain space. And even when I've been practicing as a lawyer, I come from a creative background, right? So for me, one of the gaps that I saw in this industry is lawyers that understand, or rather, lawyers that are passionate enough about the technology to be able to advise on it. Because emerging technologies are complicated. Even as someone who is deeply passionate about it, I only tend to hit the tip of the iceberg. So this is the gap that I saw, lawyers that are passionate about tech. And to be honest, I was very inspired by the partners at my previous law firm that I was working at, and inspired enough to go out and do something like what they did, which is start my own practice. And that's how 023 came about. As for the
Wow.
name, I know you asked me, and I get this question a lot actually. Where did you come up with the name 023? The intention and one of our principles as a law firm is we don't want to operate like a traditional law firm. We deal with young startups, we deal with young clients. We don't want it to be a legacy sort of business. And I didn't want to associate the name of the law firm with my name. I wanted to come up with something fun, creative, and something that didn't take too much time to come up with. The first thing I checked was, is there a .com available? And the second thing I checked is there a conflicting trademark that is registered? As a lawyer, that's obviously where my mind took me. And there wasn't. The name actually just came up when I was in an Uber. I thought, okay, what should I name it? I was toying around with zero, and I came up with 023. I checked if there was a .com, if there was a trademark, and I just went ahead with it.
Wow. That's beautiful. Okay. So let's go into the conversation. I was reading this article yesterday,
Mhm.
Ethical AI in Business. What are your views, K, about usage of ethical AI for lawyers? Because now AI is everyone is using in their work
Yeah.
and relying more for the legal research. But how do you balance being ethical and the work that they are doing is being relied trustworthy?
The thing is that AI is a great tool for humans in general, not just for lawyers. It's a great tool if you want to write emails. It's a great tool if you want to have a conversation. Our approach to AI, or rather, my approach to AI, has been to look at it as something that I can have a conversation with and bounce ideas off of. But it is not 100% accurate. You cannot completely rely on it. In fact, I remember when ChatGPT released the earlier version, I was toying around with it and I asked it a very specific question. Which I think other lawyers, whoever may watch this, would resonate with. A very simple question in corporate law: what is the difference between an asset transfer and a business transfer? And it told me that there is no difference. When in fact, the difference is that in one, you cherry pick the assets, and in one, the assets are sold with the liabilities. And it gave me an answer saying there's no difference. And I fed the correct answer to it. And I said, okay, but this is what the difference is. And it says, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This is the difference. So it is a good tool for lawyers to use if they already have experience and they can prompt it correctly and they can use it as, I wouldn't say a person, or they can use it as something to bounce ideas off of and to have a conversation and sort of articulate or structure their thought process better. But you cannot rely on it 100%. Not yet. It's not sophisticated enough. I'm not saying it won't be. Maybe in the next 6 months it will be sophisticated enough. But right now you have to use it with caution.
Wow. Okay. So, Anuradha, what's the biggest challenge, legal challenge companies face in using AI today?
Um, so there isn't one legal challenge, but I think the one that I think about the most is biased data, right? Because AI models are trained on data, but what happens if the data is biased? Like if you look at, say, for example, there's a hypothetical fintech company called Zippy Loans, which disperses loans using an AI model, right? It looks at the borrower's credit history, it looks at the borrower's spending patterns, and it decides and disperses these loans. But what if it is only dispersing loans to salaried employees? What if it's leaving out, say, the creator economy? The creator economy is supposed to grow to, I think, $4,000 million or something like that by 2030. The way that these creators spend money, the way that these creators earn money is very different from your regular salaried person. So, what if a creator is rejected from Zippy Loans because Zippy Loans doesn't understand or doesn't resonate with the manner in which the creator is earning and spending? It doesn't make the creator financially irresponsible. Or what if Zippy Loans is rejecting loans based on a person's, religion or a person's gender? One is, of course, that's against our constitution, so that's also illegal to do. But there would be riots in this case, right? So you have to ensure that training like AI models and are trained on data that is not biased and that is fair. This actually also resonates with the global principles of fairness, accountability, transparency when it comes to AI data. According to me, yeah, having unbiased training data is very important. It is a challenge. It's not easy, but we have to get there at some point.
Wow. So let's go maybe down the lane. What's been uh, the most interesting case or challenging where you've worked on Web3 and AI domain? Can you give
It's very
both,
difficult.
say Web3 and AI? Both are different.
They're not always different. There is a convergence.
I know.
Yeah, but it's a very difficult question because the thing is that these technologies are so new that I can't say that one case is more interesting than the other, one case is less interesting than the other. I don't think any of my clients watching this would be happy. But we did work with this AI powered trading app, which was a sort of a signal app that used AI to give, I won't say financial advice because this is precisely what we help them with, but to give trading advice for crypto. So it used AI prompts to give trading advice, and we tried to structure it using simple disclaimers in a way that it would um, be not perceived, rather would be accepted to be more of an educational platform rather than to be giving financial advice. So it was a very simple solution to have the right disclaimers in place and to structure the product a bit. But yeah, this is one example that I can give you recently that was interesting. Another thing, maybe in Web3, would be we actually work with a lot of middleware and infrastructure clients in Web3 that are building the infrastructure for Web3 applications or decentralized applications to operate. And some of the licensing issues that come up in this are very challenging and very intricate, because when we're drafting an agreement, any agreement that you draft is usually to sort of protect the commercials that are agreed upon between the parties, right? A contract is not a dispute. The idea behind the contract, whether it's for Web3 or AI or pharma or whatever industry, is to prevent the dispute. But when the commercials are complicated, when you have developers building decentralized applications that are using these infrastructure tools that our clients build, we have to, and even the clients, they want to go in with an idea to maintain fairness and balance. They don't want these licensing agreements to be completely one-sided. So it is challenging to draft them, keeping in mind that the product can be complicated and that we have to sort of maintain fairness to the developers that are also using these tools. So maybe it's not challenging, it's fun, but it's a learning experience each time.
Wow. So let's go to your next role. Your experience working on crypto cases, how has it been?
When you say like crypto cases, do you mean disputes?
Disputes, yeah.
I mean, I don't
Clients'
handle.
expectations, because this crypto is not regulated in India. So then how do you help your client? Because I've done conversation with Gaurav Mehta, who works on crypto as a consultant, advising government training and other things.
It is challenging in the crypto industry because, like you said, it is not adequately regulated in India. We do have some regulations in place. We certainly have taxation in place. But what we try to do is we look at global standards, right? And we anticipate how those global standards have evolved and what challenges we may face here. So, for instance, when the Prevention of Money Laundering Act became applicable to WASP activities in India, we had been advising our clients since before that became applicable that, hey, this is what the global standards are. And to safeguard yourselves, it's better from a legal perspective and a practical perspective to start implementing these safeguards even before the act became applicable. So we look at what is happening globally and we try to make practical recommendations, because in an industry which is always in the gray zone when it comes to regulation, you have to sort of anticipate adversaries and anticipate what the situation is going to evolve into, although we can't always
Yes.
know what's going to happen, but we try to safeguard our client to the best of the abilities basis our understanding of the law today and understanding of global frameworks today.
Wow. So you also work on a blockchain. How has experience been? And you're part of the blockchain lawyers group. What is this group about? So young lawyers who wants to take up blockchain, how can they become a part of this group?
I mean, they would be very happy to know that you're calling them young lawyers, but the founders are actually not young at all. We have very few young lawyers, but it is an international organization of lawyers and law firms that specialize in blockchain. We are very careful about who we allow into the organization. There is a vetting process, there's an interview process, and there is a referral process. But what the Blockchain Lawyers Group essentially is, it is a very strong network of lawyers that can approach each other. One is to refer matters to each other, essentially because with blockchain projects that we advise, it's very cross-border in nature, right? You may have a project where the founder is sitting in India, but their dev co or their IP co, where the equity financing comes in, is in Singapore or Hong Kong or UAE, and they're launching a utility token from BVI or from Panama. So it's very cross-border in nature. It requires counsel coordination across jurisdictions. So the Blockchain Lawyers Group gives you access to counsels that are vetted across borders, counsels that aren't just your professional colleagues, but they can also be friends. We meet up quarterly. We actually had our annual Blockchain Lawyers Group event in Cannes in June, which was incredible. But it is a platform where you can informally also approach someone in another country, right? If I want to understand how UK marketing regulations are going to apply to my client that wants to market its token in the UK, I can, pick up the phone, send a text, send an email, have a conversation with the UK lawyer in the organization, and just ask him what his thoughts are. So that's the access that we have as the PLG.
Wow. So, Anuradha, do you feel Indian law schools prepare lawyers enough for emerging tech law, or is there still a huge gap?
Honestly, I felt that I wasn't prepared enough when I was in law school because the subjects are very interesting. Constitutional law, I remember, was my favorite subject. Constitutional law followed by contract law. But I think if there's a way to get lawyers that are passionate about tech to understand it better, maybe from practical experiences, and integrate a bit more with technical institutions, it would help. But I know that I didn't have this when I was in law school. My niece is in law school, and I know she doesn't have this either. So there is a lot that can be done. There are efforts that, and it maybe doesn't have to be introduced as a subject in the curriculum yet. Maybe there can be workshops. Maybe they can, set up something between these institutions and these law schools where the students can go and get some practical insight, even from the perspective of understanding if they don't like it, then they shouldn't pursue it. Because it's not for everyone. You either love it or it sort of goes over your head.
Wow. So, as a founder and lawyer, how do you balance being a business leader while still practicing law?
Um, I sort of put in place boundaries between personal boundaries for me between my legal work and the business work, because running a law practice is also a business, right? So there has to be time allocated towards dealing with clients and meeting client expectations, and then also looking at the direction that the business is going to go in, what is in store for next quarter, how things should work out. We even have because we work with clients that are very young, we try to be very flexible in the way that we communicate with them. So these are all strategies that I've spent sleepless nights trying to think about, trying to sort of figure a way through where the client is also comfortable and the business is also comfortable. So just sort of segregate these tasks and couple of days on this, couple of days on that.
Wow. So, what's next for Zero to 3 Collective, Anuradha? Where do you want to take it in the next decade?
When I conceptualized Zero to 3, like I said, I had identified a gap. Actually, it's a very funny story because I took a couple of months off to plan my wedding in 2021. The partners at the law firm that I was at were kind enough to give me that time off. And this entire time, I did not end up focusing on my wedding much. I made my brother do it. Thanks to him, he actually planned our entire wedding. But I spent my time speaking with founders and trying to understand what the gaps were in the industry. And not only did I find that there aren't enough lawyers, or that we don't know of enough lawyers that are passionate about technology. Now I know quite a lot. But also, as lawyers that deal with startups on a daily basis, once a client trusts you as their lawyer, they come to you with all sorts of questions. So even if a client trusts you as their law firm for fundraising, if they want to sell their residential property, they'll come to you. If they want to understand who to go for marketing, they'll come to you. If they want to understand how to set up a bank account in an offshore jurisdiction, they'll come to you. So I had initially conceptualized this as a consulting firm that looks at a variety of things, to soon enough realize that my expertise is in law. So I technically cannot advise someone on what to do and how to market their token. I don't have the knowledge on how to do it. But where I do eventually see Zero to 3 going is we have built quite an incredible network, but building a stronger network where we can help our clients. I don't know if it's going to be formally as a consulting firm, or it's going to be, just to continue connecting them to the right people. But we want to help them grow in every manner possible, and not just, safeguard them from a regulatory point of view. Of course, we want that, but we want them to do well. So just trying to figure out what is the best approach for that.
Wow. So my last question for a professional journey round, what advice would you give to young lawyers entering the ever evolving tech law space?
Be curious, work hard, and try to create strong relationships wherever you go, because you will be remembered for the way that you interact with people when you're interning at a law firm. Yeah, work ethic, of course, it matters a lot. You should be responsible for the work that you deliver. You should, your whoever is supervising you shouldn't have to chase you for timelines. You should just take that responsibility and be accountable. But make friends, and work on those relationships, because that is really what takes you through life and through your career.
Wow. So let's go to next round and understand Anuradha as a person. Tell us about a family and your formative years.
So I come from a very closely knit family, and a very large family. Although my immediate family is my parents, my brother, now my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, and their daughter who just turned one, who is quite a handful, but really keeps you on your toes and entertained, and my husband. But we started off obviously as a family of four. My parents have about 5 to 6 siblings each. They all have two kids each. Most of the kids are married, so we come from a very big family and everyone is very close to each other. So for my formative years, I spent a lot of time with my cousins. I was the youngest, amongst both sides. um, so that helped a lot. It was good to have that sort of support system. And families now have become smaller and more nuclear, but growing up with that many cousins who are now in different parts of the world was certainly, I think I wouldn't rate that for anything. That is, it's rare, and I'm not come across too many people who are that close to every single member of their family. So that definitely helped shape my journey. I also got, great perspective, so to say, from having family of all different age groups. And in terms of my formative years, I was a shy child. I spent a lot of time reading, and I didn't start making friends until I was, I think, 13 years old.
Okay. Wow. So let's go next question. How do you usually unwind after a long day work, different time zones, client calls, drafting?
I try to relax. I spend time with my family or my husband. I do tend to travel quite a bit, but when I am at home, when I'm in Bombay, I would say 6 out of 7 nights is just sort of unwinding at home, reading a book or watching television together. Something simple. Once in a while, I like to go out, of course, have dinner and drinks with friends or with family, but nothing too crazy. Not anymore, at least. Feel like I'm a bit old for the nightlife in Bombay now.
Wow. So how did your family react when you told them, okay, by from filmmaking,
Mhm.
you want to take up law as a career?
They were quite shocked. They had no idea that I was thinking in this direction. And my father is, I mean, he doesn't do this anymore, but he was a television producer for 30 years, one of the first in India to start making shows on Doordarshan. So,
Mhm.
I do come from a family business in the entertainment industry. No one had practiced law in my family. My maternal grandfather was a lawyer, but he passed away when my mom was 9 years old. So, there was not much, obviously, there was no interaction with him. They were quite stunned, but of course, everyone was very supportive, and I really wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to your filmmaking days, University of Arts in London. How was the experience and memories from there?
It was incredible, and not what the real film industry is at all in India. Because film school was very structured. In the UK, it's different, right? If you set a schedule, everyone sort of sticks to that schedule. If In India, it's not like that yet, unfortunately. But I remember when I came back and I graduated film school, I wanted to make social impact films. There was no OTT at that time in India. And I realized if I make the kind of films that I want to make, I will make no money and no one wants to watch this. Everyone wanted to watch Salman Khan singing and dancing. But I had an incredible time. And I think a lot of the things that I learned when it comes to storytelling, I've taken forward into my legal career as well.
Wow. So let's go to your college days, KC Law College. What made you go to KC Law and how has your experience been?
My experience was good. KC was close to home. And I had a few friends who had studied abroad because the process, if you've done university in a country outside India and you want to apply to law schools, is a bit different. It's not
Hmm.
very clear. So I had some friends who had done it in this manner as well, and they were in KC. So I just sort of followed suit and I went. It was convenient. And the thing is that when you're doing law school in the city that you live in, it's of course it's different when you're at an NLU, but if you're in the city that you live in and you go to a law school, it gives you the flexibility to do a lot of internships. And I did 8 internships when I was at law school in every area of law. I wanted to understand what I like, but more specifically, and I think I mentioned this earlier in our conversation, it's very important to understand what you don't like and where you don't fit in. And I think that's what gave me that exposure.
Wow. So if your friends had to describe you in 3 words, what would it be?
I don't know if I should say that. They would, I don't know.
Okay, check up.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a book or movie which has left a lasting impact on you?
Uh, One of my favorite books is Memoirs of a Geisha. Um, I think I read it when I was very young, and then I reread it earlier this year. But I would say my favorite filmmaker so far has been Stanley Kubrick. He's a British filmmaker. In fact, his archive was in our film school in University of the Arts London. We had the Stanley Kubrick archive as well with all of his, original scripts and some props from his movies. So that's definitely left an impression on me. But nothing that I have been inspired by and bought into my legal career, thankfully. I mean, his films were quite dark.
Wow. So suppose you had 1 week away from work, what would you do and why?
1 week away from work, what would I do? Um, I'd travel, of course. I'd go to a new destination. But I don't think since I started this law practice, since I started 0 to 3 specifically in 2022, I've had 1 week away from work because you sort of have to always be available. Um, I'd love 1 week away from work at some point.
Wow. So my last one, describe Anuradha in one line. It's a googly.
Describe Anuradha. I saw this question and I didn't come up with anything. I would like to say approachable.
Wow. So let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. London or
Right.
Mumbai for lifestyle?
Bombay,
Your favorite color?
white,
Your go-to comfort food?
pani puri,
Your favorite a film?
eyes wide shut.
One word to describe your journey.
Hmm. Incredible.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Coffee or chai during long legal drafts?
Both. I start my day with 2 cups of coffee and I have 2 cups of tea in the evening. I need all 4 cups to think clearly.
Wow. Okay. So you did well. So let's
Do I win
close.
the
Yeah, yeah, wait, coming. You got it. You did well. And here's a book which will be
Thank
autographed
you.
and sent to you.
Thank you. So you said you've
So
written 15 books, right? Or 13, was it?
15.
15. Do I get one of each?
Then come 15 times.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, Anuradha, it's a living framework that must evolve alongside innovation, from AI ethics to crypto to privacy. Your journey is a testament to how legal minds can shape not just policies but future. You Anuradha represents a new wave of lawyers, fearless, future ready, and deeply human. As we wrap up this episode, one thing is clear: the future of technology will always need voices like hers to guide it responsibly forward. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers sharing their professional, personal journey, insights. Subscribe, and you can implement in your life to become the change maker. And yeah, if you want to be featured like Anuradha, visit our website or our LinkedIn page, or connect with one of the coffee speakers who can invite you, as Anuradha was invited by Paras. And we continue conversation or cup of coffee with another speaker tomorrow. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.